And welcome back to the Huge Boob Corner. I am your host, Peter McLean, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been supporting the show. And if you want to keep supporting the show, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe because it really helps. Now, today, I'm very excited because I have one of the most popular adult models working today. She's multiple award winning. She's incredibly stunning, incredibly beautiful, and very, very beautifully busty. Will you please welcome Reagan Foxx?
Yay!
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're able to make it.
I'm glad to be here. It's
so
nice.
you're coming here from Arizona, right?
I am. Yes.
Quite a few super busty MILFs from Arizona.
Okay, who do you think's in Arizona? Who is that?
There's one I think Chasing Ainsley. She's out there, I think.
Yes.
I think Carissa Cox is another one.
She is.
She's in Arizona.
She's a new one. All right. Okay.
I feel like you're all. I don't know if you're all in Scottsdale.
Well,
because,
that's where the beautiful
that's
people
what I'm saying.
are.
Yeah. Because I did do a couple years at ASU when I was.
Oh, the party school. Okay.
That's why I went there.
Yep, that's what they say.
So, but yeah, no. So it's so Vegas isn't too much of a hike for you.
No, not any. I was working out here anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, it's nice because you can travel to here and to California to work.
Yes.
But then you don't have to live.
Yes.
In certain places that.
Correct. I mean, I almost did move to LA, but I'm really glad I didn't. Just the traffic out there is crazy, and I don't even like to drive in it.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah. And considering where you have to go, usually in the valley, it's like, depending on where you're staying, it's like, it can just be such a hassle just getting anywhere.
Agreed. And it's expensive. It's a hike.
Yeah.
But it's only like 4-hour drive from Arizona to here.
Yeah.
So that's not bad at all.
And that's and you're not really, because you're in the Phoenix area?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and once you leave the Phoenix metro, there's really like nothing
between
there and here.
You're going right by Lake Pleasant.
Yep.
Just go super fast.
Yep. So do you go like by the 11, like by Hoover Dam, or do you come up more the 15?
Hoover Dam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's super easy. Right through Kingman.
Oh, nice.
Wiki up.
Okay.
All right.
So, anyway, I wanted to get started because, like a few of my other guests, you did a hard pivot into adult work. It seems like you didn't kind of eat it seems like there are people that start on that path even when they're young and they start dancing and then it's just kind of a natural progression. And then there's other people that go into, they have completely different careers.
Correct.
And that's what you did.
I did.
So you started out as exactly doing what?
I was a financial headhunter.
Okay.
So
what exactly did that mean?
If someone was looking for a CEO or they were looking for a lead accountant or whatever, then I was the person they would reach out to, and then I just did staffing basically, and then just became a head corporate recruiter at that point. And then I worked at Wells Fargo as a corporate recruiter, and then the market kind of took a dive and I didn't want to be in corporate world anymore. And so I did other things.
And that's the thing is so getting started, was that something that you had wanted to do, or you just kind of fell into it when you started doing it?
I fell into it.
Okay.
The housing market crashed. I was doing appraisal work for all the banks, and my industry started becoming really infiltrated. And so the amount of money I was making was far less. I was competing with a lot more people. I was competing with my father as well.
Wow.
And so then I had a friend that was doing camming, and I thought, I could just do that on the side. Safety of my home. And my friends were like, you, okay, you're quiet, you're shy, you don't like to talk much. And so it was a stretch.
Okay. But so then at what moment when you started doing the camming, did it start to be like, hey, this is actually was it pretty quickly, or was it a little more time between both?
When I started camming, I think that there were far less girls, just like anything right now. There was far less. So you'd log in on a Sunday and there might be 30 girls online, maybe. Now you could log on and there's thousands, right? So I was lucky enough that when I got on, people came into my room and I would just kind of talk like a real person, and where the other girls would be online and they would be like this on here and they would not talk unless they got tips. And I was like, talk to me, because if I sit here and we're not talking, I'm going to be bored out of my mind.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So let's just talk and have fun. And I think that's where it started.
Okay. And And then so how soon after you started camming was it good enough where you were like, okay, I'm not going to go back to that job anymore?
I told them, I said, I'm only here for a year. So love me for a year. Let's have a great time. But once this housing market turns around, I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And that just progressed into year after year after year. And by year 5, then I was approached to do porn because I was also like, I'm never doing porn. I'm never. And Cherie DeVille was on and she was like, I'm going to do porn one day. And I was like, nope, not me. And then it just fell into my lap, so to speak.
Well, it seems like, had you ever thought before the camming or anything, had there ever been a thought in your head like to do adult work in any capacity at any point in your life? Never. Okay.
I'm really shy. And I'm really modest. I kind of joke when I'm on set, like, okay, the prude's on set because I'm just, I'm shy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's interesting the different kind of personality types. Like there are actors out there, like Johnny Depp, for instance, who seems like a really shy person in real life. Like you see him interviewed, and he's very soft spoken. He's very kind of reserved and he's not a very outgoing person in that sense.
Right.
And it's funny because he wanted to be like a rock star too, which I think is hilarious.
Right. Yeah. And I will say now that I've done this, I really do think I've missed my calling. I should have done theater or something. I should have because I really do love it.
Yeah. And I'll get more into that then in terms of the like how things have progressed in your career and how you dealt with it. I'm still interested in the kind of the beginning stages because, did you find it kind of liberating in a way where you're like, I don't have to worry about a boss. I don't have to worry about like all these different things that a corporate job tends to have with it.
It was great that I could make my own hours and I could do what I wanted. However, the other side of it was if I didn't make money that day,
you didn't make money.
I was stressed.
Yeah.
So I think that, I was really hard on myself, and you can't be online and be angry.
No.
And it just doesn't work. So I think I don't know if I found it liberating. I think I drank more during that time.
Yeah.
But it has helped evolve me. And yes, now I'm very much more liberated or open-minded than I used to be.
I guess I just mean that like, it must have been, because a corporate world has so many, work ethic obviously is such an important thing for those jobs in terms of, doing what you're supposed to do, not like, no excuses, like all that stuff. Whereas going into something where you're like, do I need to work today? Or do I have to work? Like, or how many hours do I have to work today? And it's all on you now.
It is. However, being a headhunter and in staffing and so forth, I know what it takes. I know what it has to do. Yeah. I have that business mind. So therefore, I know what needs to get done.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you, like when you first, were you like a little uncomfortable when you first started camming, or was it kind of natural?
Yeah. Okay. I think there would, even in the beginning, I would have groups of guys that would come into my room just on purpose to fluster me. And then they would write about it on Reddit. I was one of those girls that would get flustered like, okay, well, I'll do this. So,
okay.
No, it was not easy. It was a process.
So then how long would you say it took you to kind of get your camming legs, as it were?
A couple years.
Really?
And then it was fun. Then we could just be creative and do lots of different things and so forth.
And what, like, because you were talking about how, you actually just liked talking. So even if you didn't get tipped by people, you just like talking to them.
Right.
And so because I guess being naturally shy then, do you enjoy just talking to people then? Or is it shyness more with like sexuality and nudity and stuff like that?
I think definitely shyness with sexuality. I didn't have my first orgasm until I had a child at 21. And then I honestly didn't have my first orgasm until I was probably 22 or 23. So I didn't even, and then when I did have that orgasm, my partner was saying, you need to touch yourself. And I was like, what? I don't want to touch myself. Gross. So I think that I was raised very strict and just never had that talk and never knew what to do. Yeah. So I was really uncomfortable and wasn't ever sure if I was doing it correctly or so forth.
Okay.
So very timid in that regard.
All right. But talking to people, you're okay with.
I am. It takes a while because I'm shy and I go off of energy and how I feel. And then it just so happened that I just had a really good group of camming guys, maybe about 11 guys that would come in almost every day, whether I was on day or night.
Mm-hmm.
And I would put their cameras up all around. So when I was talking, it was like I was talking to them.
Yeah.
And I knew at that point that they were still there for me sexually, but they had become my friends. And a lot of them still are my friends to this day.
Nice. Yeah. And would you just have like regular conversations about just anything? Yes. Maybe it would get into a sexual conversation, but would you talk about like movies or sports or
everything?
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of sports.
Okay. Is that something that you personally have an interest in, or you can talk about it a lot?
Yes. Well, I grew up in Kentucky, so I always loved Kentucky basketball. Oh, and then the football thing, and then I was just able to incorporate that with squares and all the football stuff, and we would do Monday Night Football, and it was just fun to interact in that regard with the guys.
Okay. So, and that usually is a good subject to kind of disarm people, because you get into sports and it's easier to.
Yeah.
Assuming that you don't have somebody that's like gets like super upset about it or super crazy about it. But.
And I talked a lot of shit too. And my home team is the Cardinals. So
okay.
Like in here I was talking shit like about the Cowboys or whomever to them. But we all had that relationship. And it was fun.
Okay. And so you were doing the camming for years, and the porn just never came. Like you were just, it wasn't like you never thought this was gonna lead to that.
Never.
And so how did that happen? Was it somebody another model like talked to you, like kind of you were talking to, and they were able, or how'd it go?
All right. So Jody West, blast from the past. Okay. Yeah. So she moved from Florida to Arizona and started in with kind of the group that I was in. And she was always feeling people out, like, hey, if you want to do anything. And she knew I cammed. And she said, hey, if you want to do a girl with me and maybe do a boy-girl. And I was like, maybe, and then so then I decided to do it, and I liked it. It was a nervous energy. It was a raw, like, ooh, but I ended up walking out there going, okay, that was fun. I like that. Yeah. And so I did those 2 scenes, and I think I did 3 more with them. And then I said, hey, do you have anything else? And she's like, we're a small company. We really don't. Oh. So then that's when Brazzers reached out, and I was like, okay, sure, yes. But then I remember driving into town, and I was nervous. I was like, should I really do this? I mean, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
And then
they're one of the majors.
Right. And so. I had tape ends in my hair, and I remember at the end of that first scene, I had 2 boys, and like my extensions were all pulled out and like this, and just a hot mess. And I was like, oh, I like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and so I mean the nervousness, because I'm sure that nervous for the first scene you did with Jody, and then the Brazzer scene, like, were you able to, like, as you were performing, did that nervousness just go away as you got more relaxed, or was it just like, or when the scene was over?
I still get nervous to this day.
Really?
Like, for example, I came in this week, I haven't shot in 2 weeks, and I still was in my head for a lot of it. Huh. And sometimes that works because I have a lot of stepmom apprehension type of things. Mm-hmm. So that nervousness is actually probably pretty real, how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And it comes out so well on the screen. So,
especially now that male talent looks so young, young to the point where it's like, there's like icky feelings right there.
When we came
I'm sorry. I know people are into it, but
even like the young girls where they look like 12, they're all younger than my kids at this point.
Well, and the implication is just kind of gross.
And it would be easier if maybe the female talent is like playing a MILF in her 30s versus in her 50s. Mm-hmm. It's a big difference.
Well, I've talked about this with other performers who've been around. I talked about this with Brittany Andrews when she was on the show, and it's like when but it seemed like in the like the late 2000s, early 2010s, or even the mid 2010s. It's like you still had performers that, even though they were playing those kind of, stepson roles, they were still like in their 30s. Yeah. So they're still, maybe they looked young enough, like a Scott Nails or something,
right?
Where he played those roles, but he was still like, he almost sometimes might have been older than the woman he was performing with,
right?
But playing like the younger person.
Well, do you know that El Cabo, Juan.
Juan. Yeah.
They're actually in their 30s.
No, I know. They're
You would not ever think that.
Yeah. Well, actually, and it's interesting. Some of them, when you see them, like, I don't know if, because I've noticed some of them, like, if you look hard enough and you can tell where to look on somebody's age, then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that they're a little older. Because like I look at someone like Brad Pitt, and that dude's in his 60s, and I'm like, this guy still looks amazing for his age.
He has lots of money probably to do all the
but
things.
he still looks like himself though. He doesn't look like Wayne Newton or something where he's had multiple facelifts.
True.
But but I'm just saying though that like there's genetics obviously help. But yeah, no, and that's the thing is you came in as a MILF. Like
I came in late.
Yeah, and I'm sure that must have been interesting to come in later in that way because, coming in at 18, like had you come into the industry at 18, it probably would have been different than coming in your 30s or 40s or whenever you did.
Yeah, I came in and I was 44, I think.
Really?
44.
Okay.
Yeah. I came in late. So, but the MILF stuff was already rolling pretty well, and I just rolled right in it, and it was just timing. Yeah. I'm surprised that I was accepted so well, coming in so late with no experience, but here I am.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing about because the MILF category is one of the most popular.
Yes.
In all of porn. I think now it is the most popular. It used to be teens, but I think now MILF is more popular than teen.
And now they're making the girls younger if they're curvy and so forth, and then they can fit that role, which is fine.
Well, and having huge boobs, typically, if you've got big boobs, typically you're going to be the mom type roles.
Right.
So, which isn't funny, but, because, the somehow, because it's so funny too, when you look at like the AVN award, like the fan awards for best MILF, they're like all super busty.
Oh, yes.
And it's like, that's the hardest category.
There's 25 or 30 of those fan favorites. So I don't even try.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying though, but it's, and
but they're all MILFy.
Yeah. It's just funny when I look at like, because obviously me being the boob focused person I am, when I look, the MILF category actually has much better boob nominees than the actual spectacular boob category does.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
And I'm just like, so, yeah. So getting into those MILF roles, like, had you done role playing before? Had you done anything like that before?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
So how was it kind of taking on that, because I assume you started doing like the stepmom or the my friend's mom kind of thing right from the get-go?
Well, when I first did it, and they're like, we need you to say mommy all throughout this. Mommy, mommy, mommy. At first it was a little hard, but now it can come off my tongue. I don't even think about it. You can say it to me, I can say it to you, and I don't think about it. It doesn't go in my head. But there are some actors out there that they struggle. They struggle to say all those words. And sometimes the amount of times that they want us to say it during the film is a struggle. It's like, and I almost want to warn my fans, just turn the volume down. It's a great scene, but turn the volume down. But it's just. Well,
it's almost like like repeating the person's name over and over, as if like, okay, no, I know their name. They know their name. I don't think we have to keep saying this.
Yeah, I agree.
But would you do like when you were camming? Did you do like any kind of MILF mom role play when you did that?
Never.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
Ever.
Were the guys that you were with usually around like kind of in your age range, or were they a lot younger, or were they?
I've been really blessed. I have from young to older, and the same with women. I have a lot of women. I'm really lucky.
Yeah. Well, I think there's something there's obviously, because it's not just about looks. Like that looks or something. You have to have these character traits.
True.
That I think add.
I do, and I definitely have mama bear traits.
Well, and that's something, and the idea, because I think also, you have a very natural, in terms of like you look like in these roles, like you look like you could be some, the hot woman next door.
Yes, good.
That lives next to you.
Perfect.
As opposed to like there's some models that like obviously they're like models.
Yes.
And they have that look to them, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, when I go to see my plastic surgeon friend for whatever I do, he's natural. Whatever you do has to be natural.
Yeah, you don't look like Donatella Versace.
Thank you. That's
I'm just saying, but like there's because
not yet.
No, but you know what I mean though. Like you have where there's so much work there, and it's distracting.
Yes.
So
there's a lot of ladies out there like that now.
Well, and I have to imagine that your shyness though probably is very attractive to people, because I think they like that because they feel like they want to draw out, because they know you have this naughtiness in you.
Yes, I think I have just this calm, soothing voice, and I think if you know me or you can get a little glimpse, you'll see that naughty side.
Well, I'm curious, when you get feedback from your fans on I mean, obviously I'm sure that it's very similar, but do you get any specific feedback that you feel is unique to you that other performers might not get? Like
I hear that, for example, like the Naughty America, the Thundercock, or the big cock bully ones, I give a lot of intrepidation, and I always hear that I'm very good at that.
Okay.
But again, that is my personality.
Yeah.
That's what comes through.
Yeah. So it's kind of just this natural.
Yes.
These natural. You actually use. It's almost like method acting.
I absolutely, any type stepmom. I am absolutely thinking about my children in those roles. Like
if these were friends,
right?
Okay,
right. We've already had this conversation, and I can easily play it out.
So and well, and that's the thing is and so embracing that MILF role just seemed like was really. I mean, not like there was really any other options.
There isn't. I mean, it is my bread and butter, so I had to accept it. Would I love to play just the hot neighbor next door every day? Absolutely, but it's okay.
I mean, have you done those kinds of scenes though, where you're just like
I've been doing more of those lately.
Like or like swinger type scenes where it's like maybe you're all kind of in that or say you and like Sherry or Shay Seitz or somebody you're kind of playing on those
Yeah, it's interesting, but the roles that I've done this year, I have been paired with more people my age than any other year. I don't know.
And how was that though? Was that cool?
Fun.
Yeah. Is it different though?
Fun.
Like in the mindset, like do you feel more comfortable because you don't have to have this trepidation to you?
I love it because I'm with seasoned people and they just whip me around and do whatever versus because I learned early on that when you're with like the newer people, they don't always know how to bring it. Just like I didn't know how. And there was a while that if they didn't bring it, I didn't bring it. And I had a director say, you have to bring it. If they don't, it is absolutely your job to do it. So I always try to do that now if I need to. So it's nice once in a while to be like, can you do all the work? Okay, perfect.
Have you had to break it? Like, have you ever been any male talent's like first scene ever?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You don't have to say who it was. I'm just saying.
I don't even think they're around or would remember their names.
Yeah.
But I was one of the last people to stay in it before we took a break for COVID. And I was one of the first people that came back. And when I came back, there really wasn't, the male talent pool was extremely small. So if you didn't pre-book that person or hopefully that person didn't, pop for COVID or whatever. I was having sex with PAs that they were putting in for first time. It was quite a bit. I was Juan Loco's second in the business, and El Cobb, whichever one. Yeah. So
they're both from Spain, right? Or one.
I don't know.
I know there's one. He's I forgot what his name was, but yeah, I think he's the one that you were telling me about.
One goes in and out, and retires and comes back, and so forth.
But then you have I can imagine though. It's like if you find out that do you try to not work with somebody new? I
try not to.
Okay.
I mean, at that point, I had to tell my agent, look, I don't want anyone that has not been in for at least a year, and then he'd be like, but they do great on OnlyFans. They're in their own house.
It's different. It's a different thing.
Yeah, it's very different.
Well, and that's another thing too, because you started pre-OnlyFans.
Yes.
So, it's and that's got to be interesting because pre-COVID OnlyFans was still there.
Yes, it was.
But it wasn't what it is now.
Correct. But I was still doing well prior to. I just didn't. It wasn't as well known, so I didn't have to put as much work into it. Now it's an every day, every night thing.
Yeah,
it's a huge machine.
And also though it's created this idea of the sex worker / influencer type person who's not really professional, but they still do it.
They still call themselves.
Yeah, and they still think of themselves in that way.
Yes.
And the problem is some of them can make so much money without having to be pro.
Right.
It's almost like,
which is cool for them.
Yeah, it's nice, but
then they don't have to, deal with the stuff.
All the stuff, but
they get to choose who they want to be with.
But
big difference.
But I've talked to other people that are like, there is this element of, I put a lot of work into what I do to my craft. I'm professional. And these people are just like falling out of bed, setting up a camera, and then making all this, doing this. And it's hard not to feel sometimes a little like, maybe not jealous, but just a little like, you're in a different category. You're not the same as them.
Right. And, but it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
True.
And so I have my name from prior to. So
Yeah, and you have an established fan base, and you're extremely successful, and so it's like,
I'm really fortunate to have had such a name and brand prior to, because I do think I'll be able to carry it out even when I'm not shooting as much and so forth. I'll still have a presence, and if people want to see me, I'll still be around.
Do you see yourself like just still in the long term being involved, or do you see yourself kind of, things changing?
Well, I have been the last couple of years. I have been selecting, picking, not just hand picking what I want to do. So the fans have seen less of me, but what I am doing is way better, I think, and
better quality stuff.
Right.
Okay.
So I think I'll still be around. I may not be shooting as much professionally, for the big companies. I'll come in whenever they ask me to, but I'll still be around. I'll still be doing my own thing.
Okay. And so you do the company stuff and you do your OnlyFans stuff.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So how do you compare those two? Like, I mean, obviously they're probably pretty different in regards to.
They are.
Okay.
I like doing the professional stuff just because it's nice to see everyone.
Yeah.
I love the crews. The crews that people don't understand that these people behind the cameras have been around for 25 years, and there's such a huge community, and I just love every one of them. I hug them when I see them, when I leave them, and I just can't wait till the next time I see them. So I like that, and that's really more just for relevancy. But then, of course, the home stuff's more fun because then I can do other things.
You're
and don't have
100%
to travel.
in control of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and also what's nice about the set is all you have to do is go there and perform.
Yes.
You don't have to set anything up. You don't have to arrange anything. You're not coordinating anything. You're just, you're hired for the job. You go.
Yep.
You got the makeup artist, I assume. You got everything, hair,
Perfect.
all that. And
it's a great day.
Yeah. You get pampered almost.
You do.
You
do.
Whereas, when you're shooting yourself, it's like you got to get all the pieces and you have to be the one.
And you may not want to put your makeup on that day, or you don't want to do this, or the kids are running around the house, which is a lot of my problem. I always have kids around.
Okay. So, and has it been like trying to balance that?
Yes,
like,
they need to move out. Okay. I love them. No, but it's time.
Yeah. So what would you say then? You're like, I mean, I assume that you prefer companies over your own content, or is it just they're just so different that you pros and cons for both?
They're so different. I love them both.
Okay.
Yeah, and I honestly will really miss shooting for all of these people when they want to move me into the GILF status, or they don't have anything for me, or they have a lot of times now they're like, I really want you, but I got to figure out how I'm going to put you in. Because of my age. I mean, it's okay. I'm older, and you got to find either someone matching my stuff or that type of thing.
I mean, I can like, for instance, have you ever done any corporate roles where you're like the boss, you're the executive?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, yeah.
So, I mean, is it
school teacher?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Babysitter.
I mean, I have to imagine though that people don't get tired of seeing those. I mean, if they like you, they would just.
I don't think anyone's got. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, because it just seems like I guess it's just difficult for me to imagine a company having a problem figuring how to, where to put you.
Sometimes I've heard it.
Really? Oh, well, I'm, again, I can't see it, but then again, I don't run a company, so maybe,
it's
yeah.
Okay.
But have you had any favorite kind of scenes that you've ever done in terms of the scenario or the type of scene it is, like with, maybe like threesome or, like any kind of favorite?
Oh, like boy girl, or what's my favorite?
Any scene that really stood out to you that like it was just the personnel, whether it was professional in terms of like whether it was a scripted or gonzo or
My favorite one that I usually will think about, it really turned me on when we created it, and I thought about it for weeks after. It was a boy girl for Misa X, and it was called Indecent. It was a featurette, and it was basically where my husband was did not like that I was dating someone that he wanted me to date, and then he came and set this up and forced us to have sex in front of him as he told us what to do, and it was such a turn on.
Okay,
just to be told what to do, and wasn't whatever. Oh, it's amazing.
Do you find yourself like, I mean, because obviously being a professional performer, being personally turned on, I don't know if is a prerequisite when you're doing a scene.
Not all I don't all the time.
But if it happens, is that something that's like a bonus?
It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are a few guys that it always does click with. And I think it's fun because when you're in that moment and they know what to do to you and they know what look I'm going to give, it's really nice. It's nice to have that connection where I don't know if the fans will see it, but I know that we've got that.
I think chemistry though plays because performance in any kind of performance, the chemistry of who you're working with does make it better.
It does.
Like you can watch a movie and if the two, like a romantic movie, and if the two leads don't really have chemistry, you're just like, I don't really buy this.
Yeah. I go into it every scene, whether it's Gonzo or something more. I want it to be the best scene I've ever given. And, you know, and I critique myself and it's just it's just who I am.
Yeah.
And that was a good one. That wasn't a good one, that type of thing. So I go into everyone wanting that chemistry and sometimes you just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
sometimes you do.
And that's unfortunate when you don't, but obviously, you know, you still put the performance in and it's fine and it's, you know, you get through it.
I want the person watching it to believe it. If they don't believe it, then it's a waste of time.
Yeah. Well, then, if you're brought out of it, then there's, you know. So, like, have you done, say, more erotic style scenes where because like some scenes are just all about like the fucking and that's all that really matters. And there's other ones that are more about like foreplay and kissing.
Right. I love all of that. I think Girlfriend Films taught me that slowness and that sensualness and don't get undressed for the first 10 minutes and lots of kissing. That's what Girlfriend Films brought into my career. What was the question?
Just no, it's okay.
I got into thinking about sex.
The idea that some films or some scenes in films are going to be more erotic based as opposed to just the sex, just the hard pounding. Right. And you said that you like both, and that Girlfriend Films. Right. Now, is girl stuff usually more sensual overall? I think so. Okay. But also too, when I came into it, I was always a stepmom, so we weren't having big like an angel, kind of sex. We were actually having, let me nurture you and love you. And so my career has been that nurturing style because that's where I started. Okay. Would you want would you want more boy-girl stuff to be more sensual? Or do you think that that's not really? I think that's really where I'm already at. Okay. To make me do a scene where I'm going, like this might be a stretch. Yeah. But I did one the other day and I felt pretty good about it. Well, but that's the thing. Like, have you been able to explore, like, sexual desires or fantasies that you had doing this kind of work? I have. Okay. I have. Like stuff that you might have been too shy to try to attempt in your personal life? Correct. Okay. So that's nice, though. It is nice. Even in the swinger world, I was still pretty closed off. I didn't do a lot. I mean, yes, I've been in a room where there was probably 20 couples and there was lots of butts and fluids flying. But okay. Well, and so there's one actually project in particular that looks like it's coming out really soon that I wanted to talk to you about because it seems like it's a very special project for you. Yeah. Called Let Me Into. Correct. Which by the time this premieres, it'll have been out for a little while. Okay. Okay. But it looks like because I've been seeing a lot of promotion for it, and that it just looks like a very a very unique thing. Is it very different from anything you've done before? It is. Within this movie, we were lucky enough that the first one did so well, so they gave us a sequel. And it's based on because Shay Seitz and I, a lot of people confuse us. She was a 90s to early 2000s porn star, came back in, and when she came to the convention, everyone was calling her Reagan. And I just saw her and thought she was this beautiful, tall woman, and we looked similar. And from there, literally, her publicist was talking to both of us and was talking to me, her publicist, about what to do. And she was like, hey, I'm over here. That's not. Yeah. So they gave us this movie and so forth. And it did so well. We did the second one. So we had 2 sex scenes in Let Me Into. And I wanted to give the fans a surprise. I wanted to do something really big that I've never done before. And that was to have, first of all, 5 of us in the scene, but also to have 3 black men. It was just what I wanted to do. And it was the perfect
time to do that. And it's just a really special project for both of us.
Mm-hmm. And is this one of those examples of something quality over quantity?
Yes.
Like it was a project. Like who?
Yes.
Well, so for the first, who? So was it? Did Shay approach you, or was it your publicist or was it the creative team that thought of
for the movie?
Yeah, for the original film.
Well, when our friendship was way back in the day, 4 or 5 years ago. Mm. Our friendship was just budding, and I was like, we look so much alike. We should do a movie together. And I honestly, for like the first year, I couldn't get a read from her. She was like, yeah, let's see, maybe whatever. And then I think as the year went on and more people started confusing us, it was like, she was like, okay, I'm in. And it became our baby almost. And so we went around to some different companies, and a few were interested, several were not, but we liked the direction that Bree Mills with Adult Time had. And so that's the direction we went.
Yeah. Okay. And did you help develop like the story?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were involved in some of the creative process too.
Correct. When we did the Let Me In 2, I could tell that Bree really wanted this to be more of a lesbian movie, so to speak. Mm-hmm. She wanted us to create an army and let this army go out, and maybe she'll continue it on in a different way. Yeah. But we really wanted to have like a bang that would be good for Shay and I have done scenes, but not done a lot together. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to have one together. And then I wanted to have another one that had meaning to me.
Okay. And it wasn't like, did you find, because had you done much creative, like writing or anything, like, do you find yourself wanting to maybe do some of that more, or is this just kind of a special one-off?
Well, of course I would love to, but I think that ChatGPT is like, I think a lot of scripts now are being written by AI.
And I know they can. That doesn't mean people can't.
Right. But maybe taking the idea and putting in there to perfect it, possibly. I do always get a lot of ideas and I write them down. And so, I don't know, maybe we'll see if they can get them out.
So I was going to ask, are there any types of movies or scenes that you have never done that you'd really like to do?
I would love I love doing the creepy, the horror. Mm-hmm. I love that aspect. But I really would like to do some sort of comedy.
Okay.
Not that I'm saying I'm super funny. I do think that I might be one of the funniest in my household. Not that that matters in the real world. But, I give some zingers once in a while, and I would love to be in some sort of...
Like a sex comedy type.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it would be amazing.
Well, and I mean, have you, obviously there's so many, say Hollywood films you could draw from for inspiration.
Sure.
So, I don't know if you ever saw the movie, What About Bob? With Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss. It was an early 90s film.
I remember it, but I don't. Okay.
Well, it's anyway, but, or, other films or like Groundhog Day is another one.
I love Groundhog Day.
Which, do a porn version of that.
I love it.
Every day, almost make it so that every day you have to have the right combination of sex to actually break the cycle.
Right.
Of it not being Groundhog Day again.
Whoa, ho, that's a doozy.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That
show. But yeah, you can have fun with that and just playing the you don't know what's going on. It's the same. Everybody's acting the same way.
That's a great idea. I wonder if that's been done.
I don't think so.
Wow.
Just saying off the top of my head.
I think that's amazing. That's muy bien.
Movie encyclopedia in my head, because that's for me. That's my main after Huge Boob, is movies.
So when you talk to people that you're close to, do you all recite movie lines?
I mean, I used to do that when I was younger.
Okay.
I don't do that anymore. I try to have real conversations with them. But for instance, if I have a friend or something who if we love a film, or we love a TV series like Seinfeld or something, we'll text quotes from that or memes from it and stuff like that. But for me, it's just that's something, because that's one thing I kind of miss that adult, movies don't really do anymore, is they used to do the not just parodying superhero movies and stuff.
Sure.
But actually parodying real movies.
Yes.
And taking a concept of a movie and then just, putting a porn twist on it.
Well, so then our movie, the last, the poster, we took the movie with Travolta and Nicolas Cage, Face Off.
Yes.
That's what we wanted for the poster.
Yeah.
And then for the movie part, we wanted to have Mr. Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
So where
he's
in the back and does that. So that's what we included for that. So there were different things that we did try to incorporate for that.
Well, and I just feel like because there's so much, like you could, I mean, because you said horror, and the first thing that I thought of was doing something like The Shining.
Yes.
And, you're going into a hotel, but instead of it being evil spirits, they're, sexually charged spirits.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Right. So that's perfect. So like when we have Let Me In 2, Shay really wants a prequel. And I don't know how we're going to do that since we're older every year, but she would like to have a prequel to show how she became the way she is. And it does involve spirits on the beach and so forth and that type of thing. So
if you could find two younger performers that can look like you too.
Right. And then we just do a cameo. I don't think that's quite what she wants, but
no. But I'm just,
yes, totally. I understand.
But or maybe just they do a short flashback or something.
Yes.
But that's great. And so how many awards have you won?
Directly, personally, just the MILF of the Year.
Okay.
I've been in many scenes and movies of them. Right.
Do you get an award for a scene you're in?
Yes,
or does that go to the director of the scene?
Yeah, you can. You can request it.
Okay.
So like Possession of Mrs. Hyde cleared house one year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So personally,
I have one sitting on my mantle.
Okay.
Now, if I could go and say I'd like this and this one, and they've said I could do that, but I think it's like $100 for every trophy.
All right. Well, hey, I mean,
why not?
But
I hide them when the cleaning lady comes over anyway, so probably don't need a bunch.
Yeah. Do you remember what the first scene or the first award that was awarded to something you did?
Yes, it was Girlfriend Films.
Okay.
It was something I'd done in there, like Legal Lesbians or something.
All right. And because do you go to AVN Awards or XBiz Awards? Do you go to all those? Okay.
I do. Okay. Yeah. I didn't go one year, and I sat in my hotel room after I walked the carpet, had FOMO the entire time. So now I go.
Well, because I know some people have a mixed feelings about awards.
They do.
Some people love them. Some people aren't as fond of them.
Correct. It seems like a majority, a small majority always gets them all.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always fun to go and get dressed up and be with your friends and support your friends. That's what matters.
Well, and I guess if that's how you can go about it, it's a healthier mindset in terms of not putting so much emphasis on whether you win or not.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, because your fans are your
yeah.
Because this is something, this is an industry where, especially now with OnlyFans, where you have such direct contact, or at least as close a contact as you can have with fans.
Yeah.
That, even if you never went in, there's doesn't mean that you don't feel loved and appreciated and supported.
Sure. I mean, I have been nominated the last 2 years for Best Actress. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like I've won right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to be in that group, and also it's not just a one and done, it's like 2 years in a row on both sides. That's a good feeling. So that's all. That's really
and
good.
Was the first time you were nominated for Best Actress?
Last year, Avian and XBiz.
Okay.
And then this year as well.
Okay. And so that must have been, because that considered, that's one of the biggest awards.
Right.
I mean, that's
for me, that's what it's always great to be nominated for MILF of the Year, but I'm always like, okay, what scenes? Because if I don't get any scenes nominated, then how can you give me the MILF award, or how can you give me Best Actress? I got to have some scenes.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably why I'm always, how was that scene? How in my head, I'm trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that when certain scenes get that recognition, it vindicates this idea that, that was a great movie, or that was a great scene?
Makes me feel good.
Yeah.
That's all.
So
not that I tell anybody about it.
No. But like because there's got to be some scenes that you do when you're finished and you're like, man, I really hope, because obviously people are going to like them, but there's got to be some scenes in movies that you do, like Let Me In and stuff like that, which are more special to you, that you hope get a good amount of recognition.
Yes. Let Me In 2 are personal. They're passion projects of mine.
Yeah.
So to see them, to be nominated and so forth, or get recognition, or to be given that sequel, It's pretty incredible.
Well, and that's the thing is when you have a fan that'll come up to you and say, "Oh, I loved your Brazzers scene," or "I loved your Naughty America scene." I'm sure for you, it's like, "Oh yeah, thank you very much. That was great." But if someone comes up to you and be like, "Oh, Let Me In" is one of the best things I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Well, or I just really enjoyed it, or your acting was great, or and we were on the red carpet in the media line, and someone from AVN came up to us afterwards and was like, "That Let Me In was amazing," and I felt like I was walking on clouds the rest of the time. It didn't matter that I didn't win that night or anything. That personal acknowledgement was all I needed.
Well, and I'm hoping that because features seem like they're not as common.
They're harder to get into. Yeah.
Because I mean, features used to, like in the 90s and all that stuff before the internet really kind of took over. It's like it was all features.
Right.
So
big billboards. You know, the girls would only do a few movies a year, but make bank. Now, we're busting them out as much as we can.
Well, yeah, but the production value to actually like go on location somewhere to shoot in that stuff and actually have it's like shooting a real movie just with sex in it.
Right. And then afterwards they're all together and they're eating and it's like a family and everyone gets really close.
Well, and it's funny because there was a point when porn used to be, obviously it was shot on video and films were shot on film. So there was kind of a clear distinction, visually, that one was obviously much better quality than the other.
Sure.
But now it's almost indistinguishable because porn's shot on such high quality cameras now.
I'm not for certain, but I think it's still 4K. VR is 8K. I don't know what are the movies in anything higher than that?
No, I think because you still have. I think the highest because I'm a film person, so I like shooting. I like film still, like film stock,
right,
as opposed to digital.
Okay,
so filmmakers like Chris Nolan will shoot on IMAX, which is like 65 or 70 millimeter.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that aspect, that's just the visual elements of that and there's something about real film, I think, that still has a texture to it that I still like.
Okay.
Whereas for instance, the new 28 Years Later movie was shot on an iPhone 15.
Really?
I mean, it was souped up. It's not like it was just somebody going around like that with the camera. But you could probably show, because you have I don't know if these major companies like Brazzers are shooting on Aeroflex or Red ones or stuff that movies are using.
Okay.
But there might be. But that's the thing is it's interesting to see the quality. And there are sites like the guy who does, I think, Vixen and Tushy and he shoots really high quality stuff.
Amazing work.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's other, and so that it's kind of blurred that line.
I see.
That adult work is, I think, not as subpar technically anymore.
I would agree.
As it used to be.
Right.
So it's got to be. Sorry, I feel like I've been talking too much.
I love it. No, this way I get to learn about you.
No.
And the fans do as well.
But the people don't care about me. They want to talk to you.
But maybe they do. And you're teaching them stuff. Oh, shoot.
No.
I'm equal offer. See, I share
I know.
time.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
But I know I'll get a comment or two being like, dude, you need to shut up.
Well, I asked you questions.
No, it's okay. It's okay. But I like to finish up with some boob talk, specifically if
absolutely
you're okay. All right. So
should we put a disclaimer out here that I'm smaller than the normal girls that you?
Yeah,
and I'm
you are
shocked to be here. So
you are, but you definitely. I still think that you are well within the bounds of being on the show. And again, it's my show, so it was up to me.
Okay.
I don't have to check with anybody. So what? How big are they?
They're 34 triple Ds. I don't know, they're tiny.
And it's funny. This is the show where that would resonate as smaller.
Yeah.
But you have implants.
I do.
And have you had the same set implants?
Oh gosh, no. You want me to tell you the story about?
Go ahead. Yeah, this is the boob. So go into the story.
Oh man. Okay, so I had my first set. I probably was 25, and I was over the muscle, and then I went under the muscle probably 10 years later, and I'm at 800 cc's now.
Okay.
And I'm under the muscle, but I had a lift on my last one, and they exploded open. So the line here for the lift, and they popped. He did them
Both
too tight.
Oh, wow.
One was worse than the other. And I was camming then. So I've had to go back in and have them redo it. And they can't do it right away. They have to let your skin heal for like a year.
Yeah.
So I had to have them redone. So I probably have had 5 surgeries on my boobs.
All right.
All the different implants and correction.
Yeah. I've heard, boob stuff. It's, I mean, granted, it's, thankfully it's not, they're not going super deep into
right.
like internally.
Yeah.
But it's still, I'm sure it's still a surgery.
It's there. Yeah. I mean, I would do it again. I have thought about it, but I'm in my 50s. So I'm not really quite sure. One of my boobs kind of goes to the side and hangs down. So it gives you that excellent like side view. And the other one's over here perfect. And so like I give the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But if I would go in, I would try to fix that because they don't ever seem to be able to fix it. So I keep trying.
So your first set then came before you were doing anything like this. So what was it then
25.
that you wanted bigger boobs?
Well, I was always super, super, super skinny, and I just had little B boobs, and I thought that larger boobs were I just find them very sexual and sensual on a woman.
Yeah.
I have always loved that about women, and it's what I kind of liked to look at when I was younger. So, that's why I went with boobs so early, and I would never get rid of them.
So it was like, even if you had never gotten into this, you still would have had big boobs.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I'm curious, was that something in your corporate job that tended to were you able to kind of hide them a lot with what you wore?
Well, because I was raised so strict and so forth, I hid them all the time.
Okay.
From my parents, from everyone. My always big shirts or big sweatshirts or whatever. I never really showed them off. I probably show them off more now. This is kind of silly. My daughters are older and they show them off at the house. So I'm like, well, if you're going to show them off, I might as well show mine off too. So I'll wear shirts like this around the house now where I never used to.
Okay. Well, and that's almost kind of sad because it's like you get bigger boobs because you want them.
Yeah.
But then if you can't show them, it's almost like...
Well, they were for me.
True.
Yeah.
Because some people do, because I've had a lot of people on the show though that they wanted more, they actually wanted more attention. They wanted that. No. But then again, we're talking about we're up to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 cc's.
Oh yeah.
Which
you
can't even try to hide those.
No, you cannot. Those big massive ones they have now, I think it's 1,400, 1,500, and it's like a basketball. It's
and now I didn't even realize this, where you can overfill implants. So you start with a saline implant at 1,000, but then you can overfill it to 2 or 3.
Yes, but have you ever hugged someone like that? It's
like hugging
this.
At this point.
It's like hugging that wall or this.
Yeah,
hard.
True. But some of them want that super hard, that has no give. Because because have you heard the term bolt-on? Like the bolt-on boobs? Where it's like, that's what they want to feel so enhanced.
Yeah, okay.
That's what they want. Some people want the more natural.
True. I struggle with that because then their nipples this big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where do I lick? let me have some. Let me get it into my mouth. It's
like
I'm sorry.
It's like trying to lick a salad dish. But so do you because when you see because when you see huge natural boobs then is that something where
I'm not really into that now, probably because probably back in the day I would have liked it more. But when I get them now, I'm like, okay, I got to use both hands. Yeah, it's a little bit more work
because they're more to do. Yeah,
but I love them. I love them all.
Yeah, I love them all. And so have they always been around 800, around that same size, or have they fluctuated?
I would say they've been 800 for the last 10 years, and I think prior to that they were probably 650.
Okay,
so always the
somewhat
size.
Yeah. And and you did say that you have thought about going bigger.
I have.
And you still haven't ruled it out.
Well, it takes 100 cc's, they say, to show any slight difference.
Sure.
And I have the last time I went in, I was like, can you pull this one over and make sure this is the same size? And he was like, they look perfect on the table. And then you get like this, and this one's obviously still bigger. Mm-hmm. So again, if I did it, it would be to correct all of this.
Yeah.
And maybe go
a little,
950, but not incredibly much. I mean, no one wants.
Well, because you have to toe that line.
Well, yeah, you don't look good in clothes after, and I still want to look certain shirts don't look
Yeah.
as good when you're overly big.
Well, but also though, you've established yourself at a certain boob size in a way. And I think that, you know, we were talking about it before, you know, before we started, that there are some performers that if the boobs get too big, then that is what you are. That's the category you're in now.
Right.
And for instance, I've talked to super, super busty models that have a hard time. Like maybe Brazzers will call them in for 1 or 2 scenes, but then that'll be it.
Sure.
It's more like a novelty as opposed to being like
real
or just regular.
Yes.
So and also, you know, because I get for some people that giant boobs can be a little more distracting in you know a scene or unless that's what the movie is.
True.
So
yeah, I think they're perfect size for my brand. I guess at this point.
But I mean. But like, what do you like? Because have you ever performed with anybody with super massive boobs?
I would think the biggest boobs I performed with would be Allura Jensen.
Okay, yeah, and she's retired now.
Yes.
So, and I think she downsized.
I think I heard that she did, but they were massive.
Yeah,
and I had. It was right after COVID or right around there, and I had lost a ton of weight, and I was itty bitty, and her boobs were bigger than my face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you ever like consider? Because there are some out there that you wouldn't. It's not really.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's too big.
Okay.
At my age. Yeah.
To just do a girl scene with her or anything.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I would do a girl scene.
I wasn't talking about you getting them. I was talking about doing a scene with somebody.
Oh, absolutely,
with massive boobs.
Absolutely.
Like that. Okay.
I loved her boobs. I would try to do whatever I could to him.
Mm-hmm.
But
you find ways.
You do. We put him inside of between them, and they couldn't find it.
Yeah,
it was gone.
I mean, have you ever met like when you like at conventions or stuff like that? Because there are some like super, super massive busty models.
Oh yeah,
and
they get a lot of attention.
Yeah, but like, do you ever like? I mean, what do you think when you see boobs that are that large, just from a personal standpoint?
Not for me.
Like, are you fascinated by them in a way?
Fascinated as to the thought of why you would do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, at least just like, you know, do you ever try to ask them?
No, I wouldn't.
Well, no, because I'm sure they'd be friendly and be like, what.
I'd have to know them for a while before I have to ask those questions.
Sure.
Like, what were you thinking?
No, I guess, not phrasing it that way, but like, I mean, I've had so many of those conversations though on the show because that's the nature of it.
Okay.
But the idea being that a lot of it comes from, they want bigger boobs, but they keep wanting them to be bigger.
Yeah. Some do. They just want them bigger and bigger.
Because you just get used to them.
I think so.
So
I think so. I know when I got this set, my back hurt for probably a year. So you got to take the good with the bad.
True.
I guess.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, they must have been what was your initial reaction when you got your first set at 25 and you saw them and you were like,
oh, yeah.
These are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is amazing for sure. I should have gone bigger. I think everyone says that.
Yeah.
That you do.
But you were you pretty nervous before that first, procedure?
Yes, I was very nervous. But then I was 300. I went to 450, then 650, and now the 800. So
okay. Yeah. So you've made gradual.
I have small ones.
Okay.
Small.
So what size were you when you started doing camming?
Probably 650.
Okay.
Because that's when they busted open when I went bigger. So I was camming then.
And then when you started doing scenes a few years later, were you still at that size or were you a little bigger by then?
I was this size. I've been this size the whole way through.
Okay. Now what would you say then your favorite thing about having big boobs would be personally?
For me personally, I just love the way they look on me. Mm-hmm. I'm attracted to my boobs.
So do you just like stare in the mirror when you're like, and just like, hey, how you doing?
It's not like I go around and touch them all day or anything. But yeah, I am very happy with the overall presentation from here to here.
Do you think that because having them the size that they are gave you the more kind of figure that you wanted or the look that you wanted?
Yeah, because I was a beanpole.
Okay.
Then.
Okay. So, and would you say that, I mean, usually my guess, the boobs are their most popular feature because that's their most prominent feature. But for you, I'm curious, like, where do you think your boobs rank in terms of what were your fans?
Well, I think my eyes are huge.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I can tell.
And,
I can see that.
And when they say my eyes, I'm like, what do you mean? What about my elbows? I have the best elbows.
Yeah.
Boobs, I know, are big because they always make me do reverse cowgirl. They're always like, oh, the fans want to see you in reverse cowgirl. Well, so I get that a lot.
Because I think for you're one of those few people I've had on the show that, again, that not all of their fans are boob fans. Like, I'm sure you've got some.
Yeah.
But that's not your whole thing.
I don't know. That's a good point.
Well, just
maybe they just like me just for my personality or.
Well, no. I think and that's what we were talking about though.
Or my feet, maybe.
Because you've got different features that are
different things.
Yeah, different things that people can be drawn to. Your smile, your just again your personality, things like that. Whereas I think boobs are. Actually,
I think people are really drawn. I think they're drawn to how silly I am.
Okay. Well, that might make you seem more down to earth.
Yeah.
You know, because some models couldn't probably have a hard time looking silly.
Yes, and I don't care. We Shay Seitz and I just did one where we put pantyhose over our head and we played a song where we pulled the things up and we look horrendous. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
Well, and that's you know, and that's great that you're able to do that, and you don't have that. It's funny you don't have that kind of self-consciousness for that.
Yeah.
Like you're shy in certain ways, but to be silly, you're not shy about.
Right. Yeah. Showing my body. Oh, super shy. Doing silly stuff and looking goofy and
acting like a crazy person is like whatever.
Yeah, yes. Let's do it again.
Yeah. But and so you like huge boobs on other women.
Love them.
Okay.
Love them.
And are you like, do you have a size preference? Like, or what is there a too big for you that you like on somebody else?
I think too big for me would be basketball size. Okay. Just that stretched out where it looks like it hurts. I'd be like, does it hurt? My mama side would come out like, oh, what can we do? Let's rub some stuff on it. Yeah. That to me was too big, but I would still play with them.
Yeah.
At once. You got to play with them.
But like, is there any size that you think is just or is it like,
I like my size. I think my size is perfect.
Okay.
Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you ever performed with somebody that has like kind of almost the really close boobs to yours? Because I know Shay's probably a little smaller than you, right?
She took hers out.
Okay.
There are like Lexi Luna has amazing boobs.
Okay.
Very perky.
Yeah.
Like a little like a Hershey kiss. Oh, I love those. If I could have made my boobs into those, I would have done that.
Okay.
With like the nipple poked out a little bit on top.
But yours, I mean, do people say that like when they feel them that they still feel somewhat natural or
somewhat. If
I mean, you can still tell.
Yeah, you could totally tell. When I lose the weight and I get really skinny, I look like a what is it? What is it saying? A chick with a stick with tits or whatever it is.
Something like that. Yeah.
There's a saying.
Or like when you see like bodybuilders that have implants and you can tell like there's no fat on them, but their boobs are obviously fake because they can't be
They're
real.
Doing too much of this.
Yeah. Because you don't want to have them have pecs.
Don't want pecs.
But but yeah, no, it's and like after all those surgeries, did you lose sensitivity or you did?
I did, yeah, my nipples.
Okay.
So like when I take pictures for pretty girls now on set, I'm like, hold on.
You got to turn them on.
Yeah, and then when I'm in a scene, I'll be like, my nipples go flat and I can't feel it, so just get them.
Anybody have a jumper cable that we can just kind of rev them up a little bit?
I've never thought about that. I should like take nipple clamps on with me on set. Can we use these in the scene?
So anyway, though, Reagan, we have come to the end of the show.
Thanks for your time.
You were a wonderful guest.
Thank you. I had a good time.
I'm glad that you did. Yeah.
Very easy to talk to.
I hope that you want to come back someday.
Of course.
That would be wonderful.
Okay.
And to all of you out there in Huge Boob Land, we will see you next time. Bye.